Now, a health correspondent often talks to people about their health conditions as part of her day-to-day job. But while doing her latest story, Jenny Rees discovered something about her own health. She found out that she's at greater risk of a fracture because she has low bone density, and she is not alone. Thousands of women, particularly those over the age of 50, have similar conditions. Well, tonight she explores the concerns around what that means for bone fracture patients and hears about the special clinics around Wales trying to address the issue.
Since fracturing her pelvis in 2 places from a simple stumble, Sam Mitchell is doing her best to stay fit and healthy. The 50-year-old is a full-time carer to her husband and says she can't afford to be out of action.
Very aware of falling, tripping over, slipping. It's just made me a lot more conscious of making sure that I don't fall over, just in case I do some serious damage again.
She's now well aware the menopause and that drop in oestrogen impacts bone density.
There will be lots of women out there like me who have fractured bones because they've got low bone density, and are taking up hospital beds and, you know, time with community physiotherapies and that kind of thing, when actually if they were given a drug to improve their bone density, they might not end up in that situation in the first place and potentially save the NHS money in the long run.
Each year, around 24,000 people in Wales will be affected by a bone fracture. Half of women over 50 and a fifth of men. A third will suffer a second fracture within a year.
There is a revolving door of fracture patients in Welsh hospitals because while we do have some fracture liaison services in Wales, they're not performing anywhere near the right level of quality. So we're not catching people after their first fracture. That means when people have a break, they go into A&E, they're fixed up and forgotten about, sent home again. And these are the people who are going to be back in very soon with another fracture, which is often much more severe.
Which is exactly why a recent quality statement from the Welsh Government was issued to address that, with special clinics like this at Ysbyty Ystrad Fawr in Hen Gwyd. It's a fracture liaison service working toward the goal of identifying, treating and supporting the majority of those with fractures by 2030, focusing on those most at risk because the first fracture can often prompt fears of a second and an all too familiar spiral.
The first thing is they're housebound. They're not going to leave the house. And we talk about the deconditioning, weakness of the muscles, balance problem. So now they're going to sit on a chair. So as a result of that, the pelvis muscles also getting weak. They won't be able to do the steps. The various bathroom, toilet upstairs, they won't be able to do that. So as a result, let's say they become incontinent. That's the very simplest way to describe the impact.
So while working on a story about bone health, I discovered that I've actually got low bone density. It means I'm at greater risk of a break or fracture. I've got osteopenia. It's kind of like the stage before osteoporosis. But there's things I can do to improve my bone health. There's things that we can all do to improve our bone health. As ever, a healthy body weight and regular exercise are key. Weight-bearing exercise is good though. Now that can mean anything stood up on your feet. So that's a walk, running, skipping, jumping. But actual weights are even better. Resistance work, focusing on all parts of the body 2 or 3 times a week. And then there's things like yoga. Strength and balance is important because it means you reduce the chances of trips and falls. Smoking and too much alcohol increase your risk of osteoporosis, but things that you can add to your diet that improve things. Lots of dairy products, for example, leafy green vegetables or dried fruit have all got calcium. And then you've got the likes of egg yolks, oily fish and red meat, which are great for vitamin D. In the summer months, a safe amount of sunshine provides a natural source of vitamin D. But in the winter, you might want to consider a supplement. Small changes that can keep our bones stronger for longer.